Welcome back to the GSL Code S with Artosis and Wolf. Tasa's taking a little rest day, just got back from Bucharest. Stayed a little bit extra, hadn't been to Romania before, so hopefully he's getting some good sleep, can be back next week. But here we are again.
I'm always glad to fill in. I'm
That's
glad
right.
to be here with you today, Artosis.
You seem to cast just about every StarCraft game in Korea nowadays.
It feels that way, but it's really a pleasure, not a burden, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
We got a great group today of 3 Zergs and Trap. Trap being the lone Protoss in the group.
And before you turn it off and say, you know what, oh, 3 Zergs, I hate that matchup, this is going to suck, hold on. This is good, because Sue is one of the best CVZers there is. Right, he 4-3'd Life, who most Zergs agree is like top 2 or 3 ZVZ in the whole world. And he went 4-3 against him last season. So, like, Sue is extremely good at ZVZ. True. And then, well, True's good too, but Sue is really great at ZVZ. And Ragnarok, we saw last season, during Code A, rather, he beat Savage and Curious in ZVZ 2-0 each. Like, he's really, really good too. Really
crisp builds, really crisp timings, very aggressive play. But he showed that he's really very good at the matchup, quite obviously. And I feel like, with that, I think both Sue and Ragnarok are going to get out. I look at True and I think, well, if there were Terrans in the group, he'd have a better chance because his ZVT is really, really good. But his other matchups aren't as solid. And Trap, I feel like he's just not quite on the same level as Sue right now. And then I feel like Ragnarok is probably going to be better than him here based on what we saw from him last time.
I feel like it's pretty hard to decide, but before we talk more about that, let's take a look at these events. We do have some offline events. If you are in Korea or visiting Korea or you live here, whatever it is, come on down to the studio because you can do things like predict. You can come down to the studio like every day, just like we do. You can just get random lucky gift, all sorts of great stuff.
Yeah, if you come 15 times in total, you can win some prizes. Online, if you actually go and post on the GOMTV Facebook, then you can, if you type @ in the comment and leave your friend's name there, you can draw your friend to whatever thing is going on to let them know what is happening. So,
and that's important because we need everyone to realize how wonderful StarCraft is, especially the GSL.
You can just invite all your friends, even your friends that don't like games. Maybe they need to start right now.
Yeah, and if you don't have friends, you can just invite random people that will probably become your friends for showing them the greatest game on Earth.
Yeah, that's a great way to make new friends.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, just show them, spread the word. This tournament is obviously the highest level StarCraft II tournament in the entire world. And
people, bar none, by a good margin. This is the best. These are the best players. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, it goes to show you when you have a tournament like the GGT, when a player from another region comes in here and does not stack up, you can really see and feel the difference between the two regions. But the GSL Code S is a tournament that's got a lot of history as well, so it's just something that's kind of always ongoing, kind of like the Super Bowl or something. It's like something that everyone who knows about esports in general, not even just StarCraft, is aware of and follows. I would say, I feel like even League of Legends and Dota fans, even if they don't watch StarCraft as regularly, still kind of tune into the finals or see what's going on and look at who's winning. So it's a pretty big tournament, pretty famous.
Yeah, it certainly is, as it should be. Now, let's get back to this group a little bit because, this season I feel like every group in the round 32 is really, really hard to predict. In fact, the only one that I think isn't too hard to predict is the group with Younghwa in it.
Yeah.
I remember looking at it and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, Younghwa. You're not getting out of this one. But, most of these groups I actually find very difficult. Obviously in this group you got to look at and say, Sue, he's a back-to-back finalist. He's just got an insane level on him. His ZVZ is very strong, and his ZVP, of course, is, brilliant. So you got to put him as the favorite to come out, probably in first place.
Yeah.
But who would you put coming out in second? Because that's where I get it a little bit harder.
Well, I put Ragnarok based off his Zerg vs. Zerg performance, that we saw from him in Code A, where he just 2-0-2 really good players, really solid play there, and he's got 2 Zerg players to play against here potentially, and he's got one of the Zerg vs. Zergs in the first part. So I think it's going to be tough for him to actually beat Sue in that first matchup, but I feel like versus either Trap or a third Zerg who's True. Sorry, there's too many P's and T's in this. Against True, I feel like he's got a good chance, and against Trap, I think a decent chance as well. So it's hard to say, though. Really, I feel like part of this group might come down to how well Trap performs today, because sometimes he looks really good, and sometimes he can have a bit of an off day.
That's true. He really got known last year, in my opinion, as a very timing attack-oriented Protoss. Hit a lot of really great 2 and 3 base all-ins, and executed them fantastically. When he got into later games, he had a harder time. He's fixed a lot of that. Like, he's much better in late game than he was last year. But overall, I don't feel like he's at the same Protoss level that he was last year compared to everyone else. Like, obviously, he's a better player, but I feel like everyone else has caught up a little bit more to him. So he's not like one of these players that I'm expecting to get super far this season. But still, I feel like he's a player that can steal a series or win a series. I don't know if it's called stealing really, because he's probably more accomplished than True and Ragnarok. But I feel like he could beat either of those guys. But I think he has basically no shot against Sue. I would be very surprised if he could take down Sue, who has shown us like ridiculously good ZVP.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to beat Sue. I don't think he's going to be able to take a game. I feel like the matchup between Trap and Ragnarok is the hardest one to predict in this group if that ends up happening, because
Trap and Ragnarok, it seems pretty hard, and we haven't seen Ragnarok's ZVP.
Yeah,
we're not sure what it looks like right now.
I mean, it could just be, I don't think this is the case, but it could just be he's really good at ZVZ, but not so much the other matchups.
Yeah, I would doubt that. I don't think that's the case, but...
he did used to train with TSL, where he had a lot of ZVZ practice to work with. I'm sure he's got the connections of working with Hyun and Symbol as well.
Yeah,
and
of course.
We've seen this guy time and time again in parts of the GSL, popping in and out of Code A, the GSTL, but I feel like, because of what I said last time when we cast him in Code A, he's got so many connections, he's so well respected in Korea. I feel like even though that he's teamless, he's got like so much practice potential out there, people who respect him and want to work with him and play with him.
Well, so looking at this group, right, follow me on this, tell me what you think.
Okay.
I think Sue beats Ragnarok, but if Ragnarok took out Sue, I wouldn't be super surprised based on just how well Ragnarok played.
Yeah.
Thing is, they can both study each other quite a bit for ZVZ,
True.
so could go either way. No, not true. I think Sue over Ragnarok. And then for True versus Trap, I think Trap's going to take it. If he does some very sharp timing attacks, I feel like even though an aggressive Zerg, such as True, can do well against something like that by messing up the timing attacker, I feel like it's going to be hard for him to play defensively against these very strong attacks that Trap can pull off. So I'm giving the edge here to Trap. And then I think it'll be Sue versus Trap, with Sue taking out Trap. Ragnarok versus True. I think Ragnarok will take, but an aggressive Zerg like True, anything could happen. And then it comes down to Ragnarok versus Trap, which is what you were talking about before. And I'm not. It's really hard to say where that's going to go because I haven't seen enough of Ragnarok.
Yeah,
I just haven't.
I really don't know because I think you can't. You might want to, but you can't really base his results in 2 Zerg versus Zerg 2-0'd and say, well, I mean, look how well he did in that group. His ZVP must just be, by extending things out, also great. Because I really don't think you, looking at one matchup, can really say that with confidence. But I know him fairly well. I know he's got a lot of practice partners to work with. So I want to give him a slight edge versus Trap, but it's really hard to do that with confidence.
Okay, I'm gonna go the opposite of that. I'm gonna give a slight edge to Trap in this because he only has one match to practice. And I think that's really going to help him out in this. He's going to be really focused on strong play PvZ. But anyways, we'll talk more about that if it does come down to it. Right here is Sue, the back-to-back finalist. Realistically, yes, Zest beat him and became the champion.
Yeah.
But he threw a game away there really, really hard. He could have won that finals.
Yeah. He had a much tougher time against Deer, but that was a long time ago. And he ended up losing to Zest again, actually, in the global tournament. So he ended up losing 3 times, basically.
What did that look like for him? Because I haven't gotten to catch up on the global tournament quite yet.
Honestly, it looked pretty Zest favored, but it wasn't as epic as the finals. But there was a good fight by Sue. And I feel like there's no shame in losing to Zest. All right, it's not like
Zest has basically sold me at this point. He is the Protoss to look out for. Now Ragnarok, his ZVZ look great. He's teamless. Everyone likes him. What else do we really know? Not a whole lot.
Yeah. Definitely a lot. Funny thing is, he could actually potentially get out of this group 4-0 with ZVZs again, and then we would just still know even further less about him.
The thing is, he could not win a game against Protoss and still possibly come out. Probably going to have to beat Sue in that case.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see how this goes for him. Could go either way, but again, Sue is becoming a real monster of a Zerg. One of the best Zergs in the world for sure right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of overpassed and outshadowed even Sulky at this moment in time.
Yeah, I guess he is overshadowing Sulky a little bit. Have to go there with you.
It's hard to say it, but I think it's true. Zerg versus Zerg on Frost, starting off Group B of the GSL Code S today with Ro32 and Wolf.
I feel like I'm riding away.
All right, in the bottom left of our map, a teal Zerg player. Who is it?
SK Telecom T1 Su.
There we go.
Oyun-su.
All right.
And to the top right, in the red,
Ragnarok. Shinibom.
Okay, so interested to see how this one goes down. I want your list. Top 5 Zergs in the world, go.
ooh, that's a really tough one. Definitely Sue right now.
Okay.
Life.
Yep.
Sulky.
Yep.
And the next two will become very difficult.
No,
I want to say
easy.
Roro.
One of them's easy.
I want to say Roro.
Okay, that's okay. I can go with that. The other one you have to be able to get, Wolf.
Well, if you think it's Jaedong, I don't agree with you.
No, well, Jaedong could be argued, I think, but I think Jaedong and Roro argue for the 5th spot, perhaps. You're missing one though, and as soon as I say it, you're gonna kick yourself.
Hold on, wait. Give me just one more moment on this. Yeah, I'm just gonna kick myself telling me if this is
Savage.
Oh right, of course.
Yeah.
God.
See, kick yourself.
No, I don't know why he wasn't coming to mind for some reason. Probably because he hasn't had that big title yet, like the rest of them have, or at least big finals.
Yeah. He will though. You just wait. But anyways, there's a lot of really super solid Zergs, and the thing is, there's even some other ones that are so close to that. I'm wondering where Ragnarok fits in. I guess we're going to find out this season, aren't we?
We certainly are. At least starting things off with finding out how good his Zerg versus Zerg is. We already saw him beat one of these 5 Zergs.
You know what's so funny? Like, he could, through ZVZ, like, get quite deep.
Yeah.
If his ZVZ really is, like, super duper good, this season, I do think is going to be Zerg dominated. We have half of the, well, not half the players, but a huge percentage of the players is Zerg, like 14 this season. So, he only played ZVZ in Code A. He has the potential to only play and win ZVZ today. And maybe, depending on how round of 32 goes, maybe round of 16 he could play ZVZs too.
Yeah, it's actually true. And that would be funny too because, in another sense, taking this a bit further, if that's actually what ends up happening, then his opponents, his first non-Zerg opponents that he's going to have to meet, are going to have even less games of ZVX to prepare for, to study, because he really doesn't play in anything. He doesn't play in Pro League. There is no GST anymore. He's teamless. He's not really playing in a ton of offline tournaments right now. So he's not going traveling around the world playing in other tournaments where you could study his play. So it becomes really difficult to prepare for this type of player in other matchups the more ZVZs he plays.
Yeah, no. But, of course, it becomes easier to prepare for his ZVZ as you see his strengths, his weaknesses, his builds, his preferred counters, and all that. Now, nice catch there by Sue, definitely.
Great.
Now, we do have the quick speed build from Ragnarok here, going into a 3rd base right away. And then from Sue, of course, much slower gases, kind of more mineral-heavy economy build. And through this, with that quick speed, Ragnarok is hoping to be able to just hold on to his 3rd base. And then be able to tech up, whether that's going to be into like Roachling or Mutiling.
Yeah, I would say probably Roachling, but it is.
It looks like a Roachling build to me.
Yeah, on these spawning locations, I guess you could go Mutas. Control the map a little bit with that, kill some Overlords. Evolution Chamber going down for Sue here, and again a good block on the Scout.
I've been talking to a lot of people about ZVZ quite often lately. Been seeing a lot of them. I'm wondering your opinion, because I don't think I asked you this recently.
Sure.
What do you like? Do you like the quicker speed openers, or do you like the more mineral-heavy build? Like, do you like the style that Sue opened with here, or the style that Ragnarok opened with?
I like the style that Sue opens with, because I feel like it just gives you more minerals to work with early, and it's a little bit more flexible. I would say the Ling's speed can't really get you all that much early unless you're planning on being aggressive with it, or your opponent is trying to do something and you scout it because you have speed. But in a normal situation, I feel like the speed that Ragnarok has basically accomplished him nothing so far this game. He was able to go over there and like go into the natural and get his Lings killed because it was a good block by Su with his extra queens. And, I guess it helps him secure the third base that he took faster.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I don't think it's accomplished him much else besides that. And I think that it's maybe a bit safer in some ways, but on this map too, in these positions, I don't think it really gained him very much.
Okay, well, we'll talk more about that in a second. We do have a lot of Lings popping out for Su. He's making Lings non-stop here. He's going to be up over 30 in just a moment. We do have some roaches on the way, and this is a long map. But as soon as you see those queens coming out, you have to ask yourself, what is he doing? And those Lings do get scouted relatively early, so he sees a ton of speedlings on the way.
Yep, and a ton more coming out as well. 10 more, in fact, plus the ones he just finished that are running across. And I don't know about this base. He's got not quite enough roaches, just 7 of them. Even if they're in a good spot, I think they may be eliminated here. Now he's going up to 10, though.
Yeah, he has a pretty decent amount right now. He has to be careful about Lings running by into his main. That would be a really big problem here. So Ragnarok, so far, with some good, strong defensive play. These Lings not able to do anything yet for Su.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, Ragnarok got a bunch more drones a lot quicker. So definitely a big deal. Even though the drone count is closer now, Ragnarok has mined a bit more.
Yeah, he's mined a bit more. He has a better saturation right now, actually having that third base up. And it looks like he's actually confident enough to go check for these Lings, even around that bridge to the top. And both of them are about to hit +1 and speed around the same time.
Yeah. Pretty similar here. We do have a higher supply for Ragnarok at the moment. He did make more roaches early on. And with the extra Lings that we have here, that's quite a bit of extra Lings. It's like 20-ish. Well,
yeah.
I guess we just had a bunch of Lings made, so it's actually going to even up quite a bit. So these two are going to be in a very similar spot, but as of right this moment, definitely a much bigger army for Ragnarok.
Well, I mean, he's got this small force here now trying to find its way home, but nice pickoffs here by Ragnarok.
Really
He's actually
nice.
just surrounding and catching and trapping those Lings.
That was fantastic. And I thought Trap wasn't playing till the next round.
You were all over these names today, Artosis.
I know, I can't help myself. Here we go. It looks like he's going to come down and see if he can get something done. Probably not. There's a Spine Crawler, there's Queens, there's Defender's Advantage. Those Lings do come in and try to get some additional surface area, but I don't think he's going to be able to get anything done here. In fact, this could be an overextension.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this. He's attacking into a concave with no upgrade advantage. He has no upgrade advantage. He has a smaller amount of roaches, and that Defender's Advantage gives him a crazy lead there in that fight, and now he's even going to chase.
Yeah,
he needs to make sure to not do the same thing himself, but I think Su's in a pretty good spot here. He's
down by 13 roaches at the moment. I think that was definitely a bit of an overcommit, a little bit overzealous here for Ragnarok. And definitely we do have a little bit of a lead for Su. So Ragnarok's going to have to be very careful here, take some good engagements, get his supply back up with those roaches as well.
Yep. Fight around here, actually catching these roaches again. And now he's got enough where he can fight it for a moment, but now with the reinforcements with Su, he needs to get out of here. And Su is really just getting great trades here, good enough to continue the push, in fact. And he's going to go over now to the third base.
And look, he's up a lot in supply right now, about 25 army supply advantage right now for Su, and some very nice micro in and out here. He's going to have that +2 finish just a little bit before Ragnarok, which will help him out as well.
Yep.
And wow, gets the queen, he's getting drones, he has got a concave.
Yeah.
It's really, really great play here by Su.
And the thing is, normally in a case like this, when you're pretty even, you can poke like this, and then there's eventually a point where you have to turn around and go home. But at this stage, with how ahead he is, he might not even have that. I think he might actually just push for the win right now.
It looks like he may have done it here.
He just cut up all the reinforcements, too. All the units that come out of this base are just dying for free, as you can see here.
It's simply less production, less economy, less units. There's not really any way to come back here, and he's had this +2 for a bit as well. And with double Overseer, this burrow movement and burrow doesn't even matter that it's on there. Yeah. It's not going to do a single thing.
Absolutely not. And I think that's going to be it for game number 1. GG.
All right. Really super strong play there by Su. But I do have to say, I disagree a little bit with what you were saying about which build you liked more. I actually really like the way that Ragnarok opened, and I felt like he got a little advantage, but the attack that he did into Su didn't make a lot of sense. It can be hard to tell exactly where your opponent's army is at and yours is at in terms of supply. But I feel like even as soon as he got in there, he should have been able to tell that he wasn't going to trade favorably there.
Yeah.
At best, he would have traded even. And what pops to the front of my mind is maybe he was trying to trade out as many Zerg